Hello, people from YouTube. There's links and descriptions below to my Twitter and the deck list for anyone who cares. I'll try to remember to pop it up as much as possible, but anyway, today we've went on up to the second rivulet, and we've changed the hours in the sideboard to a cast out. We're still not sure what we like about the glares or the meltdowns, though. I'm also thinking about adding a third authority to the main. I'm really liking that card in main or in game ones, even versus the non-red decks. Anyway, let's just wait for a queue. I doubt anybody will be watching live today. Oh, God, good lord, sorry about the sound. I apologize. I doubt anybody will be watching live today, though, because Grand Prix Denver is also going on at the same time. And we're paired versus a Disco Vic. That's pretty weak, but we have one cycler, we have one interactive spell that apparently has a red border because Moto. So we'll keep it. Well, this hand is absolutely miserable if this is a mirror match. This mirror match is absolutely miserable as well, by the way. Very likely a mirror. We'll just take our draw step. The cast out's absolutely worthless though, but generally whoever just gets their lands in this match wins. Of course, it's not us. 11 cards. Missed 4 draws from the opening. 5 draws from the opening. Which is obviously always fun. Well, let's go looking for land. He may censor it or whatever, but who cares? We had to discard a spell anyway. Put those on the bottom and get our land into play. So winning the dice roll was absolutely huge in game 1 of this match, but missing the land drop put us very far behind. But we'll see what happens. It truly is in this match generally whoever tries to cast an approach, whether it resolves or not, typically wins. Now, it's not a guaranteed thing, I'm just saying the typical. Pretty much keep nothing but approaches, draw twos, and or lands. Not even gonna keep the Supreme Will, I don't think. Sure, we'll keep the Supreme Will. Might as well. It's a kind of a draw two. Puppy power. We're going to discard the Fumigates first, just in case they're a Gearhulk deck. Both the Blessed Alliance and the Immobilizing Glare are better. Have our land drop, so I'm not willing to get rid of any of the Supreme Wills this turn. Excuse me. Really like this land. Oh wow, he sacrificed one of his lands. He needs to be pretty confident that I'm not on disallows to do that, I think. Which if he's just automatically assuming it's Dimir, then he can be that kind of confident, but it's best not to assume things, because Blue-White Blue-White Gearhulk still gets some play. I guess we'll keep both of these. We're just going to slam an approach. We don't care if it gets counterspelled. We'll be able to find another if we feel like it. Excuse me. Don't care if this is counterspelled at all. Again, we'll be able to find another if we need it. We'll try to save our 3 Supreme Wills to stop us from losing the game, in theory. That's the in theory, anyway. If he ever taps out for a 12 mana sorcery, or sorry, a 7 mana sorcery, 12 derp, I might be willing to spend every Supreme Will I have looking, is what I was going to say. In fact, the next turn we'll probably use a Supreme Will to look regardless, especially if he ever uses his mana. Drulet's kind of nice. I'm hoping it does something in this match, but who knows. So we go ahead and Supreme Will here. Well, we don't want any of those, so we'll take the one that cycles. Don't really want that either. We're going to keep the other 2 Supreme Wills. Discard another Fumigate. And next turn, we'll probably be discarding an Authority. An Authority. Yeah, I don't care if that resolves at all. Thank you for the host, Mactastrophe. I appreciate it. It says auto host, so I'm not actually sure if you're there, but if you are there, I'm curious how your streams have been going. I guess we'll go looking for it. It's probably appropriate. Get an approach, put it on the bottom, untap. And have this last Supreme Will to save our thing. And we can pay for his Supreme Will. But, hey. So even though we missed a land drop, we were able to break serve. That was pretty nice. This match is a little bit odd post-board because I personally don't have much in the sideboard package to try to beat this. These are my only 4 particularly relevant cards. And they could have a bunch of things ranging from Gideon to spell quellers that I've saw. But for the most part, I want to take out most of these type of spells. Let's just bring this stuff in. I'm leaving a couple Fumigates in just in case they're the other build. I'm not sure which one of these I want. All of these cards are pretty poor here, but I'm going to keep one of them just in case. Probably going to keep the Blessed Alliance, I guess. We have to keep some of them. It's not that we want any of those cards. It's that we don't have enough to take out. I already brought in every creature in a match that I don't want any of my creatures in. So got about 2.5 hours before my bigger event starts. Should probably go ahead and sign up for it before I forget. We will keep a hand. Again's on the weak side. You really want to see 3. I pretty well call any opening hand that doesn't have 3 lands on the weak side for this deck, because that's really what you're looking for when you play this deck. The fact that we drew the Blessed Alliance and double creature when we don't really want a Blessed Alliance or any creature in an opening hand also kind of hurts. My stomach is growling like crazy. I think I'm sick yet again today. I felt fine before I got online, or I wouldn't have got online. So hopefully we'll be able to make it through the league, but who knows as of this point. It's going to be tilting, by the way, if we miss our 3rd land and our 11th card for 2 games in a row. At least we hit 1 there, but still a bit on the frustrating side. Would have really liked to not got rid of that card, so. We'll go ahead and resolve ours. But we don't want you. We do want you. This card, and we'll discard the Blessed Alliance. Probably just hard slam a Caracal next turn. Maybe not. It depends on whether we draw a land or not. If we draw our 6 land drop, we definitely will. If we don't draw our 6 land drop, I'm not sure if we will. That's close enough to a 6 land drop to me. Just gonna slam it. They probably have Censor or something, but that's 1 less card for them to draw if they do, and we don't care if they counterspell it, so. Like, this match is going to be won by the approaches, unless there's like a Gideon in his deck or something, so. Makes it pretty easy to not want that card. Try to use the Glimmer. Now we can pay for Censor, which is good. Not keeping anything but lands with this card that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, we'll keep both of these. Go ahead and cycle the Censor. Actually going to pay upon a life for it because I could hit a cast out to cycle with that one. And I always like playing the first one of these because even if it gets counterspelled, which it could very well get counterspelled, we don't even care if it gets counterspelled because it basically shuts our opponent off of 3 lands for the entire game. Like, you never care if your first one gets counterspelled. Ever. It just doesn't matter. In the mirror, anyway. I mean, obviously, there's some matches that you don't want it counterspelled in, but we're talking specifically mirror here when I make a comment like that. Goodbye, cast out. It's fine, and we're going to slam a Gearhulk on his turn. Again, don't care if he counterspells it at all. What's in our graveyard? So we have a Sensor. So I guess it's worth trying to get rid of it forever. Makes him have to draw a second. He's on kind of a short clock now too, so that's helpful. But he could just have a second one and we just lose if he does. Nothing we can do about a second one. Well, he doesn't have a second one, so I guess that's good. Go ahead and cast this Glimmer. We actually don't want lands now. We're looking for negates. This is the second time on stream, fourth time total. So I've played probably 120 matches, so a very small percentage. If it become a bigger percentage, I would alter the sideboard a little, but yeah, this is like I said, it's not very often at all. Guess we don't want either of those in this spot. And we drew the negate that we wanted, but opponent still has a bunch of lands. Second hieroglyph means I'm almost assuredly not going for it this turn. There's just no point. Just keep bashing with this Gearhulk. And sitting behind our wall of counterspells. We have a pretty good advantage right now. We have him on a 2-turn clock, and we have a lot of counterspells. We're on a 13-game win streak. I wonder if we can pull off another. I wish I knew. I mean, they look great. So he's going to censor that, or he's going to. I kind of like my little creature. I kind of want to try to protect it. I am going to try to protect it. If he taps out a bunch of mana to try to make his Supreme Will resolve, we can probably get an approach through. The red negates look nice, by the way. We go ahead and draw some cards here. And we'll go ahead and cast this one out. Go ahead and cast this one out. Oops, tapped the wrong mana. Cancel. Undo. I'd like to find one more of our blue cards, which should be not that hard considering how deep we are into the deck, but so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, that's not particularly good for us, but we have put it in a spot to where if he's got it and he's got a negate, we're going to lose. If not, we're pretty far ahead again. Let's see what happens here. Yep. That's a good Supreme Will for him. The fact that he just went 8 cards deep makes me assume we're going to die this turn. We can always hit the second negate off exactly this center though, and that would probably be enough to resolve what we need. Yeah, he tapped 4 mana really fast, so. Probably not getting there. Alright, next game. Nothing we could really do there. Like you see, he had the double Supreme Will, so us trying to cast our own approach wouldn't have did anything. We just had to hope that we had 2 counterspells. Could have let him fumigate our thing and kept our Supreme Will, but again, that doesn't do a whole lot either, so. Leave the sideboard how it is. We cast approach first both games and didn't manage to pull serve, but again, we missed a land that game. Okay, this hand's pretty good. We have double negate, which is the most important thing. We have a a cycling card, and then we have a glimmer, and we have 3 lands. So we're pretty happy with this hand. Ooh, we even have a cat, in case we decide we want to try to get rowdy. If we play that on turn 6, it's pretty nice. We're gonna have to get some lands, though. Alright, well there's the land we wanted. This hand's pretty good. There's nothing that we're going to use on a negate till we get to the approach section of the game. I guess if he's playing the Bills with Gideon, we would negate a Gideon as well, but Dovin Bond. I've actually considered this card. Till your next turn, you just draw some cards and gain some life. Opponents can untap 2. That's kind of a cool card for Dimir. It's a card I was considering last night, but I didn't really know where to place it. But we'll put down as a nice little threat now because of that. This thing is a 3-turn clock, and you know he's going to have sideboarded out some number of his fumigates, so. Oh, never mind, he had a fumigate. If he didn't have a fumigate, that would have most assuredly been game. We'll take both of these. Even though one of them is obviously not that great. Losing our negate for his Dovin Bond was huge, by the way. It was absolutely huge. Zone Caracal, which is fine. Because we have our own Fumigate. Kind of just want to cast this Gearhulk and let him have his Caracal. So I can Glimmer. Missing that land drop's pretty bad, especially as many cards as we've drawn. Now he's ahead of the Hate Ball the whole game. Keeping nothing but lands. You're not a land. You're not a land. I have a friend that's been trying to get in. He finally cut one last night. Or he finally cut it last night. And I think he's been happy that he cut it. The Dovin's kind of interesting. I saw a lot of people play the Jace main deck even. Alright, well we're just going to go ahead and slam this approach. We don't care if he counterspells it again. Him counterspelling it is meaningless. fact, no most hope he counterspells it. A gets a counterspell out of his hand, and B sets us up for the second approach. But casting the first approach is always nice because it always puts your opponent down on mana. So now for like the rest of the game, our opponent has to worry about us untapping and just winning. Which is exactly where you want to be anytime you're playing a control deck. 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll just wait. We can cast Double Glimmer on his turn. Yeah, I might try the Dovin. It's something that's been on my mind, but I've not really known what to cut. I cut an Hours today, though. Maybe I'll try Dovin in that spot. I put a 4th cast out in for this event because Planeswalkers have been pretty frightening. Pretty well just going to take lands and counter spells. With the first one, the second one, probably similar. I might would keep an Approach or a Gearhulk. I'd probably keep an Approach or a Gearhulk. Wow, he's Supreme Willing that one. That's surprising. After the first one resolves, it's generally too late for the second one to matter. That's why that's so surprising, by the way. So we have enough to approach and negate now, but he has 6 mana untapped. So we're just going to keep going down this lonely, lonely road. We have another Gearhulk, which is Happy Days. We'll probably try to resolve this Gearhulk at the end of this turn, and maybe even cast out the Caracal and start attacking to put the pressure under him. That's probably the go. If he casts his own Gearhulk or something, we may do something different, but in fact, we'll probably just go ahead and try to resolve this, I think. He can't cast 2 approaches in one turn, so bottom, and I guess we'll go bottom on that too. I think 10 lands probably enough. We're going to start attacking as of this turn, I believe. If he taps 7 mana, I'm just going to cycle both cast outs, by the way. A Fumigate. And he left 5 mana up. Well, that lets us cycle both cast outs pretty easily as well. So 5 mana is 2 counter spells. Cycle the first cast out. Cycle the second cast out. And cycle this thing too. We have another land drop. Alright, well, we're not getting anywhere. That was a good one. Pretty deep into our deck now. I don't think he can try to mill us. We have the 3 rivers in our deck. So we don't really have to worry too much about the cards. We just have to worry about 2 approaches. And we'll just go ahead and try to resolve the cat next turn too, probably. Try to hide the river a little bit, I guess. And play a meow meow. So we're at 12 lands to his 11. They still have all 3 approaches in their deck, though. Hard casting the cast out. That's what we were going to do. Now we drew a second approach. I don't know that I hate just jamming this first approach. Just letting him counterspell it and not caring. Yeah, I've been playing Rivulets for, I think this is day 4 of Rivulets. I've added a 3rd one now, though. I've been playing 2 up until now. I guess I'm going to go ahead and play it. I don't care if it gets counterspelled too much. We have 6 mana, so it can't be Supreme Will. So how much mana does he have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he can't actually win with a double this turn. Wow, they have Dispels. Well, Dispel is not something that was on my radar. So yeah, he's come much more prepared for the mirror than we have. Which is an issue, friends. Much more prepared for the mirror. Probably not going to beat the mirror match that has the Dispels as well. Both of our negates are gone. Only one of their negates is gone. It's going to be a tough match. Wonder what they cut for their negates. Well, that card doesn't do anything at all. What's up, Blade Ogre? What are you into, bub? We're getting crushed in a mirror right now. And I can't draw another card extra. Which is pretty bad considering all the cards in our hand are useless. I can officially draw 2 more cards. So every time he draws 2 cards, we can draw 2 cards. He put one on the top and one on the bottom, which is a little disappointing. Yeah, they're not going to win, though. Fauna has too much mana and we don't have another hard counter spell in our deck, so I don't think it's possible for us to win this game now. Him having that Dispel was just wow. Didn't expect that Dispel. But if they tune their deck to win the mirror and we don't tune our deck to win the mirror, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they can win the mirror. I can't really use either of those cards, can I? So I have a potential 12 cards here. I'll be going down to 13, 12 puts him at 12. We could draw one more card, so we can cycle this. And by cycle that, I mean next turn we can use it on his cast out. Okay. This game's kind of interesting still. Yeah, but I can't even use the Glimmer. If I use the Glimmer, he can mill me. Let's see what happens with this card. I could have cycled this, but I think he has to counterspell it. I think he has, unless he has another cast out, obviously. He's only going through the one. He probably only has 3. Either way, this gives me a bunch of blockers, even if he does have it. I have a feeling that our opponents can be able to resolve 2 on us. The fact that we've not hit any more of our rivers is kind of bad too. That means both of our last 2 rivers are in our bottom 12 cards. And we've cycled some of those to the bottom. I guess we want him just to play draw 2s right now? I can't use my draw 2. Can almost attack with the cats, but not really. We have 9 points of counterspell in our hand, or 9 points of counterspell in our hand, but it doesn't really help too much. This game 1 that we played is pretty fun here. Linvala. So our opponent has 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so there's no chance that he can cast 2. Well, if there's no chance that he can cast 2, we might as well put a 5/5 in play and press F6. This technically wins the game in 5 turns, or might make him cast another Fumigate or something. Well, our opponent drew 2 new cards, so that means we can draw 2 new cards. Revenge is very decent draft, for sure. Whenever our opponent sideboarded out Allah's approaches, because he's not even tried to resolve one, summary dismissal as well. So yeah, our opponent has a lot more counter spells than we do. Let's just leave it at that. Our opponent has a lot more counter spells than we do. I think he's trying to mill us, which is what I think is my mill plan for him. I'm going to keep both of these. This is game 3. He definitely knows. This is game 3. That cat's out of the bag, so to, that cat's out of the bag, so to speak, as we jam another cat. The bad thing about me playing these creatures is at some point I'm going to get a big enough board state that he just has to go for the approach, and I don't think we can beat the approach. Just attack with them all. If he's got something, he's got something. We're not worried about it. We know he has fumigates. He probably doesn't have all his fumigates, though. Sure. So he took a massive hit there. Might be able to win just attacking now. We do have 12 points of power on table. 1 Regal, 2 Regal, 3 Regal, and there's another Regal in our deck. Alright, well, opponent is down to 15 cards. 14 cards. 13 cards. Alright, so all we have to do now is find our other Rivulet and we win. And we have 7 cards and can see every card in our deck. Cycling the Sensor is fine. Knowing exactly how many cards we need to mill is absolutely fine. That's fine. Don't care about that. Our mill condition, or our kill conditions, milling him now. Alright, so let's start with looking for our last Rivulet. And we found it. Make him mill. Yes. These Rivulets doing God's work, guys. Oh, he did leave approaches in. He's down to 2 cards. We got a second approach. And the third Rivulet. The card we added just today. So he cycled all of these cards to the bottom, by the way. Like, he has seen these cards before. He intentionally put them on the bottom. And we mill somebody out. Nice. So, the little blue land we added the third one today, and it's already showing its worth. The card is very good in this match. It's also very good to just help me hit my thing. I have to look at the price of that earlier. I've drafted some cockroaches, so I have a few cockroaches, Matt, in the Eternal game. But I probably don't have nearly enough to build the deck. But for anybody new to the stream that's not watching Grand Prix Denver for some reason, down below there is a link to my Twitter. Also, on the YouTube video, there is a link to my Twitter in the description. On my Twitter, you see every time I go live and all of the deck lists that we play. On the Twitter, there's a link to the YouTube, so it works out if you're coming from here. Either way, you find one, you can find the other. There is, in fact, a Grand Prix on, but it is round 2 right now, which means the pros don't come in for another round or 2 as well. I need to find somebody that'll loan me a Rashadin Port for today. I would like to try to play a particular deck in the Commander Challenge, but we'll keep this. Hand's not great, but hand's good enough to keep. But yeah, need to find somebody that'll loan me a port today. I would want to play Leovold in the Commander Challenge. That's fair. I messaged Rich Hagon requesting a feature match with MJ, but they still had Conley Woods on round 1, which depressed me so. I didn't look at the Time Walk match. He could have been the Time Walk match. I don't know. So these little 40 to councils actually do a lot of work. Alright, so he's playing the Voltaic Brawler. So that means he's probably on the Pummeler build. So this will be the third Pummeler build in the last two or third Pummeler deck in the last 7 rounds we played versus. Like, this deck's getting pretty popular. And I don't hate that it's getting popular. I love the deck. That's fine. I'm actually going to hold the Supreme Will. The Supreme Will does do things in this match. So, this match is actually unwinnable if the opponents know how to play. The opponents, all they have to do is reserve energy, reserve energy, reserve energy, reserve energy. Play an Electrostatic Pummeler, post Fumigate, or post me casting a 7 mana spell, and then flinging it at my head when I'm tapped out. There's nothing I can do about that. Like, this attacking stuff generally doesn't win. I'm not saying it won't win. He could even just cast Aronis or something and it'd be pretty nice, but that is not how you win the match consistently anyway. We hit our land for our first Fumigate. Oh wow, we hit a third Fumigate. These little 40 to Council Wits stop Glorybringers, which is pretty nice. Anyway, up to 12. Would like to draw a land next turn. Want to draw the land pretty badly. That's a good one. Sure. Well, not drawing the land hurts really badly. Not sure what to do when we don't draw the land. Could just Fumigate again, but that doesn't necessarily do anything. He could have a million things and still just attack. If I don't Fumigate, I could just die. Like, if I just cast Glimmer and I'm tapped out, I can just die. I think I'm going to play the Glimmer, though. I think it gives me my best chance to find the cards I need to win. Put that on bottom. Put that on top. Well, we didn't get what we wanted, but does make him commit to the board a little more. Needed to find a cast out in our top 16 cards or whatever it was. Seems a little overkill to use a Blessed Alliance on that, but maybe he has something great in his hand that we don't know about. I feel like I have to have a cast out to beat that thing anyway, because the indestructible thing gives all his other creatures +2/+0 for every 3 mana he spends. So, like, I have to find a cast out to get this off the board. Just preventing 4 damage from it once doesn't help. Like, if I put the meltdown on this and this is still in play, he just pumps the mana into this and does the exact same amount of damage. So I'm trying to get this to not to be able to attack. Like, I have to find a cast out either way. Well, I have to find a cast out or have to win another way. I'll rephrase what I'm trying to say. So Approach is now 7 cards down. We're back to 19 life. We have another Fumigate to prevent from the first creature he plays. I have no clue what opponent said. Copy. I have no clue what our opponent said. And we win on the following turn, and now we have a Blessed Alliance as well. Alright, opponent is Greek. Let's see what our opponent said. Greek to English. I'm a lucky top decker? Alright, Greek to English doesn't even work. I have no idea what our opponent said. No idea. Oh well, we tried. Anyway, so moving to the sideboard versus these decks, I believe all of these things that block are pretty good. I believe these little Invalas are pretty good. Whoops, get out of here, Torrential Gearhulk, even though I'll probably bring you in. The cast out's pretty decent. It cycles and it deals with Aronis, which is a real threat. The negates are pretty decent. Cards that are generally not good in this match. The 40s do some things, but it's really only, I hate your deck. It's outrageous that it exists. It's plain stupid. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. And I like to take out some of the higher end card draw spells and some of the Supreme Wills and like a Censor. I generally always take out these 5 cards on the draw. I don't think these cards are particularly great. 1 counter spell and rip meta or something. I don't know what he's saying. It's fine. I'm gonna take out just 2 more of these cards. We brought in 2 counter spells. Hey, thank you, Church Plays. I appreciate the host. So this hand's a mulligan. We have poor lands. We don't have any card draw really that we can even resolve. We don't have any cycling. We have 1 Blessed Alliance and we have a double approach. So, alright, this hand's much better. We have an early counterspell. We have a thing that can stop Aronis and or Chandra. How was your stream today? So this hand's pretty solid here. Again, I find this match incredibly hard to win. Opponents really just have to hold back Electrostatic Pummeler till post me casting my 7 mana spell, but for some reason they just refuse. Everyone tries to kill me attacking. And I've not figured out why yet. What deck did you run today? The meltdown there with the Blessed Alliance in hands, obviously a bit of a nombo. It's even more of a nombo now that he has the Pummeler as well. I appreciate it, man. Enjoy your day. Are you running? Thank you, thank you. I guess I'll stop asking you questions since you had to leave. Yeah, well, we have no answer to this really. If he kills us, he kills us. 20 damage is a lot. Sure. 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 That's a lot of damage. And this deck is gorgeous. Can't beat a Chandra, can't beat a lot of things, but we didn't die. Not dying's fun. Yep, that's a good one. We're not dead, though. And what's better than not being dead? Nothing. It's just great to not be dead. We have to find another white mana. Hopefully we don't get too flinged here. That's a good one. So the best thing we can draw is a white mana and a fumigate. Well, can't cast that anytime soon, and that doesn't help us resolve our spells. But we got the white mana. Won't be in horrible shape if we survive this turn, but there's a number of things he can have to make us not survive this turn. But if we just jam cat into cat, we'll be okay, probably. Well, we're probably dead. Any invigorated rampage just kills us. But that's fine. When you don't have your second white mana available till turn 7, you're going to die most games. So any +4 kills us. Does he have a third one? He had to have a third one of these two. So he drew more of these than we did white mana. It happens. It's not that big of a deal. Pretty sure we run away with the game if we hit a third land. Sensors are better on the play, I think. Just run it back. This hand's pretty good. We already have the majority of our mana. We have a cat, and we have a double Blessed Alliance. We'd like to draw a Fumigate somewhere along the way, but we don't have to have it. We'll go ahead and play this. I don't have any 3 mana spells in the deck, so casting the Prairie Stream on the next turn, excuse me, isn't really a downside. Oh, the second cat's wonderful. You can still just die to a number of things, but still wonderful. Take a 20 damage on turn 4. Hurt pretty bad last game. Sure. Yeah, hopefully our cats will be good enough, but you can just play a Pummeler here and I'd be in bad shape. Be in very, very bad shape if he just plays Pummeler. Ronus isn't that bad for us. Obviously, it's not something we're happy about, though. He didn't attack, which is odd. So now we have to decide whether we think he has Glorybringer or not. And where he didn't attack with this, I'm going to assume he has Glorybringer. I'm just going to play the cats anyway. This thing doesn't have trample, so I think the cats are fine even if he does have Glorybringer. They tapped that and untapped it. Just pretty odd. Gets a forest, plays a forest. Yeah, he had the Glorybringer like I thought, which is a little sad. Actually puts me in really bad shape that he had the Glorybringer. Puts me in really bad shape that he had the Glorybringer. I'm just gonna play this thing and attack. His Glorybringer doesn't attack next turn anyway, so. Puts us pretty thin to drawing a cast out, though. We're definitely in bad shape now. The cat may make him overextend, too. I think I'm willing to not take the 5 since my cats are going to die anyway. He gave his thing trample. That's fine. I'll have to see what he's got going on here. Emulating Glare would be useful, I guess. Depending on what he plays. Fumigate's probably my best draw step. Regardless of what he plays. Linvala. Well, probably just dead. Probably just dead. Yeah, I can't imagine being alive past this turn. Opponent has too many things going on. Really needed to draw to Fumigate that turn. I don't think casting the Linvala does anything on this turn, especially when his Glorybringer just gets to attack. I can cast 3 spells right now. Kind of hoping he doesn't attack with the Servant, but if he attacks with it, he attacks with it. That's fine. Oh, he didn't exert. Wow. He didn't exert. Yeah, he didn't exert. I feel like him not exerting is just great for me because it made my blocks so easy. Made my blocks ridiculously easy when he didn't exert. Oh, okay, I guess we just lose if our opponent's got double Invigorated Rampage yet again. Yep, just lose. Nothing we can do. Does that kill me? I'm gaining 4, taking 17. He's doing 11. 15. He's doing 17 exactly. So there's nothing I can even do. I guess I can survive the turn, but I don't think it lets me win the game. So I gain. So I have to actually gain 4, don't I? It's okay. Let's figure out everything that's going on right now. I have 17, and they're dealing 10, 19. Wait. So this thing's trampling for 4. This thing's trampling for 2. That's 6. And this is just 9. So is that just 15? 4. What do we got going on here? Okay, 4. That's 2, 7, 11, 15. That can't be right, can it? 10, 10, 19, minus 8. Like, I'm not dead. I don't think I'm dead. Let's do the math one more time so I don't feel like I'm stupid. I take 2 from that, I take 9 from those, that's 11, and I take 4 from that. That's 15, and I'm going to be at 17. Alright. I guess we just take it. If he had all of that, him not exerting was insane. And now we'll make our opponent sacrifice an attacking creature. So, no telling which one they sacrifice. Their opponent not exerting seems insane to me. Opponent sacrifices another attacking creature? And leaves with a Ronus. The one that can't do much by itself. Alright, well, we're attacking. So you need something else to even make that card usable. He's got 1 card in hand. Is it another Glorybringer? It is another Glorybringer. Wow. No, so I guess it's not. I don't know what it is. It has to be a Glorybringer, probably. No, it's a Bristling Hydra. That one's good, too. Sure. And this thing gives trample, right? So blocking doesn't do anything this turn. And next turn, that thing's going to be massive unless we find a way to kill it anyway. So, see what we draw. Another land, and that's game. Oh well. Fell pretty far ahead that game. I don't think I made any play errors. I mean, our opponent had triple invigorated rampages 2 games in a row. Pretty hard for us to beat. Pretty sure he can remove one of those for nearly any card in his deck and we're fine. Anyway, next game. It's not that worried about it. It's the first time I've ever lost a Pummeler. Both games we lost, I believe, involved us not drawing a Fumigate. Didn't draw a Cast Out or a Fumigate that game. Thank you for following Church Plays, Molimus, and Milo Williams. For any of you who care, there's a link down below to my Twitter to see every time I go live and all the deck lists I play. This hand's not good, but it's good enough to keep, I believe. Hopefully we can salvage to 4-1. Even if we get 3-2, we're not sad. Yep, anytime during the combat phase. It's just a pretty neat little trick. I'm sad that our opponent gave us an extra draw step for no reason and didn't get punished, but it happens. You can't get upset when you lose at Magic. Getting upset when you lose at Magic, even if you feel like you got unlucky, is like the quickest way to like have poor success in the game. I don't really care when I lose. I get a little tilted when I draw like 15 or 20 cards and miss on a land drop, or like when I have to mulligan into Oblivion because of the lands. But other than that, nothing in Magic bothers me. I don't really care whether I win or lose. I just enjoy playing the game. But when you're mana screwed, obviously you're not even getting to play the game, which is why it kind of aggravates me a little bit. It doesn't even aggravate me a lot though. Kind of want to cycle for a land, but our opponent didn't play anything on turn 2 or turn 3, so that means the Censor is going to be insane. It's going to get some relevant spell. Our opponent's got the full 5 colors in play already, is that right? Yeah, looks like the full 5 colors: green, red, white, blue, black. Opha Liliana. So that means our opponent is some kind of Planeswalker deck. Alright, well I guess we'll save our Censor to try to hit a Planeswalker. And if we can't, we have a Glimmer. Planeswalkers is one of the hardest things for this deck to beat, by the way, so getting paired versus a Planeswalker deck's probably pretty bad for us. We've also took out our Hours of Devastation that we used to have, so that's even worse for us. Go ahead and yield to that. I don't want to always have to press OK to that. So he's going to get an Oath of Liliana token here as well. We're, again, not worried about low impact Planeswalkers, so this is kind of a low impact Planeswalker. Well, we need a land, so we're just going to put both of those on the bottom. And we hit a land, which is pretty nice. Hit a second approach, so it's going to be pretty difficult for us to lose, I would imagine, from here. I mean, he could have discard spells or counter spells or something, but I mean, like, it's going to be pretty hard for us to lose by damage over the next 3 or 4 turns, is what I was trying to say. It just come out kind of poorly. Just come out kind of poorly. Well, he attacked with the plant, which was correct, but then he decided not to. And we're not casting the Blessed Alliance anyway, we're just looking for a land and or looking to counterspell whatever he plays. One of the two. Not concerned with Heart of Kiran. Couldn't stop it even if we were concerned about it, so makes it pretty easy that we're not concerned about it. Probably should have censored first in case I hit a draw 2, so that was a bad play by me. Any order. Let's cycle you. So there's a Plains. And there's another Plains, so our turns kind of become mapped now. We'll go ahead and gain some life here. He gets to resolve whatever he wants, and then we're going to play Approach into Approach, hopefully. It's the plan, anyway. That is the plan, anyway. Gideon would be kind of good. Not worried about Nahiri. Got about 90 minutes to finish this league. Still have to try to acquire cards for Leovold. I need to post on my Twitter what I'm trying to borrow for today, but I'm a little lazy right now. Don't want to take time to make the pictures and stuff during while I'm streaming either, so. Another Blessed Alliance. We can gain oodles of lands. Go ahead and write 7 here, just in case he has a counterspell or a transgress or something for the other approach. But yeah, I have to imagine after he sideboards in some discard spells, this is going to be rather hard for me to beat the 5-color Walker deck, because this deck struggles in general versus Walkers. He didn't send a Heart of Kirin this time. Oh, okay, never mind. He did. He was just tapping mana and it changed. I thought he went into the attack phase the way that happened. He did not. So our opponent's 1-0. He has for pretty large amounts of damage. The second approach steals so many games. Anyway, post board, what's it look like? It didn't look like the 40s are particularly good here. It looks like negates would be great versus him. It looks like the sideboard package would be fairly good versus him as well. And we probably want this other cast out. It didn't look like the Blessed Alliances were particularly good. Immolating Glare and Effort Meltdown are just better versus Heart of Kirin and friends. It didn't look like Fumigates were particularly good, but he could have had a poor draw, so we'll keep a couple in just in case. And then we're going to shave on some of these. On the draw, I think we're going to shave on 2 of those, and 1 of these. On the play, I'll probably swap that. Yeah, that's just a really sweet little trick. Well, we have double approach, and we have 1 counter spell. I guess we'll keep, because we can counterspell a Gideon, or a Nissa, or a Liliana, or whatever, but we have 3 lands, and 3 lands is generally what I call a strong hand for this deck, anytime you have an opener with 3 lands, but having an opener with double approach is pretty poor, to be honest. 2BH. TBH. Hand's fine, though. I don't think I would keep this hand versus a blind opponent, but then again, we wouldn't even have the cat in the deck versus a blind opponent, so. Sylvan Scrying. So that's how he's going to get all of his lands. What's he showing us? A Canopy. He wants double white already. He's thinking about Gideon, I guess. Or he has a bunch of black in his hand, who knows. Could be anything. Ooh, negate's a nice spell here, too. So now we just try to style and hope that getting the 7 mana is enough. We play our... Actually, kind of like a control deck right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and negate that. That represents a lot of damage, and we've only got the 4 answers to it. So we know he has these 2 lands in his hand. Hopefully he just plays any random 4-drop. Don't play around Censor, please. Get rid of Lumbering Falls. Well, he's playing around Censor, kind of, I guess. Might not be doing it overtly, but all his lands could have just come into play tapped. We don't know. But either way, he was successful. Unless he just has another CIP land anyway. Rip. So we can't stop a Gideon now. Alright, well, we don't care about that one so much. That'll actually even probably get to Emblem this game, most likely. So there's the land he showed us. Here's the Zombro. Looking for lands. That was not lands. Land? Hey, we got a land. Alright, we're just gonna slam a cat then and let him do whatever he wants. Something that can potentially pressure the Nahiri. Potentially, anyway. He's only got 3 cards in hand. May discard and draw. He wants to keep all of his cards. So whatever he has, he likes. Oh, Sinissa? Sure. We'll snap off taking this 5 points of damage if he sends it. Oh, he didn't send it. He wanted blockers. That's fine, I guess. Well then. That was a mistake. I should have censored first. But we're going to censor anyway, though, and see if we can find a cast out. That's still a mistake how I played it. And then we're going to hold back blockers. To see what's coming out of our opponent now. 5 mana for a Chandra. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. So now he'll be able to slap us for 5. So we kind of need to draw our land now, don't we? Well, we hit the land, so... Let's hope it's fast enough. He could have any discard spell, any removal spell. I don't think he can deal 22 damage. He can deal 13 plus 3. He can deal 16 on board. It's be interesting to see what he has that could kill us. He could have the negate. Negate beats us. I don't think that kills us. 10, 16? Yeah, it doesn't kill us. It's like 17 damage or something. He's got a negate, we lose. But he's only got 1 card in hand, so... Are we moving on to round 4, or are we moving on to game 3? Yeah, moving on to round 4. 2 and 1. Had to have double approach to win both of those matches, I think. Yeah, this deck can do that. That's having to hard mode it though. Thank you for following Sequachis? Sequachis. That looks right. Appreciate it. Appreciate those of you who are following, tuning in today. When you could be watching the Grand Prix. And the match has started, so we're ready to rock. We're playing versus a rabid panda. And that immediately makes me think of some kind of like random video game villain that's going to smash me. Alright. Well, apparently we're a magnet to double approaches today. I think this hand's reasonable anyway. We have the double cycle card, but... we're going to keep it and try it. This is mostly about science. I actually think this hand is a mulligan. I believe it's correct to mulligan this hand, but I'm keeping this hand, like I said, mostly out of science this game. Port Town. I don't see a lot of Port Town decks these days. Do not put Port Towns in this deck, by the way. Anybody who's been watching this game often, or watching me play very often here, you can see how often that you need to just have an untapped land, and the Port Town will never be an untapped land when you draw it late in the game like that. It's just a liability. I was going to sackle the cast out till he showed me the Rivulet. When he showed me the Rivulet, my mind immediately went to gifts, and I assume we're going to need the cast out now. This match is incredibly hard. It's not super hard pre-board, but it feels unwinnable post-board. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The cast out gives us a little play. They generally don't have counter spells in the main deck though, so like if they don't get going super quick, it's not that hard for you to win pre-board. Gate to the Afterlife. Okay, so he is definitely the gift deck now. So now we pretty well only have to live till turn 8 and win, providing we hit lands. The 40 of Councils, obviously great versus the gift decks. 3, 4, 5. Sure, you have an angel. There's nothing I can do about it. I think we're gonna go ahead and just cast out this game. I think we'll be fast enough now to beat any of his gifts package. He's been kind of slow up until this point. Obviously, if they have multiple of that spell or whatever, it's going to be difficult for us, but the 40 of the Councils is just really good versus the gift package itself. And we only have to survive 3 more turns. Alright, looks like we'll be looking for a Fumigate. Might make that one bigger just to prevent us from gaining life. Nope. He's fine with us gaining life, which is just fine as well. I think we're just going to gifts here, or glimmer here. We'll try to find a Fumigate maybe. And we certainly don't want either of those cards. And we drew a land, which is one thing that we've kind of wanted. So depending on whether we cast out or whether we play another spell will depend on if we draw a land exactly this turn. And we did not draw a land this turn, so that's a little depressing. Go ahead and see what we find here, I guess. Well, we hit another land, so that helps somewhat. Our opponent can do pretty much whatever he wants. He gets to hit us for 8 down to 11. If he's got another Angel of Invention, we are in not good shape. Not good shape at all if he has a third just natural Angel of Invention with no card draw. Especially considering that we've gone through 20 cards and not found a Fumigate. If they go through 13 and find 3 Angels, it's pretty rough on us. Don't have it. Okay. Well, they tapped 7, so I guess it's a Ballista? Nope, it's just a God Pharaoh's gift. That's fine. We're not killing anything. And whatever they buy back can attack, so even if it's an Archangel, it's just 15. Or sorry, I keep calling it Archangel, but I mean Angel of Invention. It's actually just 12, so if two of them would be 16. So even if he hits both Angels, we're not dead? Don't care about any of those cards coming back. But yeah, game one's generally pretty easy to win because they don't have counter spells. Game 2 and 3, when they have counter spells on top of everything they're doing, it gets much harder to win. Just much harder to win. I do love the God's Gifts deck. I need to stream it some more. For anybody who cares, on my YouTube channel, we did stream a lot of it when it first came out, but we sideboarded pretty poorly, and the deck started catching on. I think that cost us a lot of our success. Anyway, so hey, second approach, 3 games in a row. Second approach wins. I believe the negates are good in this match. I believe the cast outs are good in this match. I believe the 40s to be good in this match. I actually believe the Descents to be better than the Fumigates, and I think the Torrential Gearhooks are very medium but better than some of the cards we already have in the deck. Cards that aren't good in the deck, like these Blessed Alliances, shoot, come on, these Blessed Alliances don't do a lot. They generally have a bunch of attackers. Yeah, no, the blue-red deck, I would be streaming the blue-red deck right now if I wasn't too cheap to spend $130 or $40 or whatever it is on Chandra's. I am a massive, massive, massive fan of that deck. I think that deck is very good and it looks very fun. It's everything I want. Everything I want in a deck. It's just everything I want in a deck. And then some. We would be playing that, and we'd be playing it rather happily. We'll keep this in. It's fine. The 40s, again, are just really good. Yeah, this approach deck's pretty nice. I can't complain about the approach deck. Like, I'm having pretty good results with the approach deck. The last 2 streams were both 5-0s. This stream's a minimum of a 2-1. You just have to win 1 out of the next 2 matches to PD chest, and anytime you PD chest, you're happy. Well, anytime I PD chest, I'm happy. But it doesn't take much to make me happy. So he hit 2 creatures. 2 creatures off of Inquiries is a pretty nice hit. That's an above average hit. You generally hit a little less than 1, I think. I apologize if you hear noise. The person who does our yard work outside decided it's now time to do yard work on a weekend at around 2 p.m. So I apologize if you can hear the lawnmower. So anyway, this match is a lot harder post-board, mostly because of their negates and or dispels. And there's a dispel. But he had no creatures with that, which I guess that's good. We're not going to cycle the cast out because it's just so good versus gift. And hopefully this noise will go away fairly soon. I thought they were done before I turned on the stream, so I apologize. So now they have 3 creatures and no energy, so that's good, I guess. But, like, they can just beat us down right now, which is also good. That's a gate. Gates are good. Gates are great. I'm going to go ahead and melt down this, by the way. So go ahead and melt down that. I don't want to take damage, and I know I'm tapping out the next turn at least for the cast out. Actually going to put the cast out on this as well. I know they could just like play a bunch of lands and a gate, or they can like find a way to get, a bunch of lands and then a gods, and they can put a gods in the graveyard and refurbish it or whatever. But they also have negates in their deck, so I think it's important to resolve the one spell that we can resolve when we can resolve it. So I think it's important to get the gate off the table. That may be a little aggressive, I'm not sure. Just casting a Thraben when you have a mana up's a little odd too. They could mean they have Dispel, or it could mean they have Inquiries in their hand. Well, there goes a God's Pharaoh's Gift, so we're probably in bad shape now. And there's also a Mausoleum Wanderer, which is very disappointing. So we now have to play the Cataract so we can Glimmer. If they have a Refurbish, we're in hard shape. We're in rough times if they have a Refurbish. It's like, it's not over if they do, but it's certainly very bad for us if they do. Sure, I will pay my mana. I had nothing else to do with my mana anyway. Alright, so they had a Refurbish and a Dispel, or top deck the other one. Whichever one it was, that's actually pretty insane luck. But we probably can't win now without drawing at least another cast out. So this won't resolve if he doesn't want it to. I don't think giving him the options any good for us at all. I think we just have to look for the cast out. Some percentage chance that like he just grabs the angel here. Pretty well have to hit a cast out to have a chance. We're probably okay if we draw cast out into the Fumigate. It's just very hard to beat this deck. And even if we saved this cast out, like, he had another gate, so he was going to get there. It didn't matter. There's nothing we could do. Yeah, him getting back the other Mausoleum Wanderer is certainly not good for us, but prevent some damage. At some point he'll run out of Mausoleum Wanderers. We still have 3 more cast outs, so well, that's not anything we want. I mean, we can top deck another Fumigate. Sure. And they hit another Wanderer, so they've had 3 Wanderers in their top 30 cards as well. Pretty good luck. Still not dead. We have plenty of good draws still. It all starts with drawing a cast out, though. It pretty much has to be this turn or it's going to be too slow as well. It's going to be too slow if it's not this turn. It wasn't this turn, so... Right on time, cast out. So had that been one card down, I think we would have had enough time. That being said, it wasn't one card down, so I think we have no out now. I'm not sure what our out even could be. Guess we could cast out the Wanderer. Maybe. I don't even know what it could be. I guess our out now would be cycle the cast out into an Immolating Glare, the one left in the deck, and then draw a Fumigate. That's pretty thin, but that's the only way to win, right? 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're dead on board by a lot next turn, and a Fumigate can't resolve next turn, so I'm guessing that's our only out. Well, this won't resolve, but that would have worked as well. It didn't have to be Fumigate. It could have been any Wrath. But this won't resolve, so we're dead. Right on time. If I droned those into opposite order, I believe we would have probably won this game. In fact, I believe we would have won this game by a lot had we droned those in the opposite order. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nothing we can do. I guess there's something we can do. So I think if we killed a Wanderer, we're just dead, right? We'll do the math, but I'm pretty sure we're just dead if we killed a Wanderer. Kind of odd to do that during that step. I have no more creatures, though, if we do. So this is 2, 6, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 if we kill that, and if we kill this, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're technically alive. And we can pay for that. I don't know what being technically alive does for us here. Like, we're still just dead, but I don't know. I kind of want to look at my next card. Alright, we'll scoop. If we drawn those cards in opposite order, we would have probably won, providing opponent didn't have a negate or something. We're going to bring you in and take you out. You guys are just not very good. We draw. We have double cast out, and we have kind of a dead card. I think we'll keep it because we can cycle one of the cast outs if we need to. But this is another pretty weak hand. This is a very hard match. Like I said, game 1's very easy, but game 2 and 3 you just do not win very often. Do not win very often at all, game 2 and 3 in this match. Yep, they have their best one drop. But that's good. That's good. I'm not going to be cycling one of these cast outs yet. Got to make sure that we're going to hit the land drop, or miss the land drop before we consider that. Well, they missed all the creatures on the first strategic planning. Yeah, so definitely not cycling either cast out this game now. Hit no creatures yet again. Must mean they're all in his hand. Which is also not great for us. Sure, they can have that. We'll go ahead and cast out that next turn. Doing it now to play around sensors or whatever. And I know it's kind of bad form to even use a cast out on a gate, but it's just them having X amount of negates and stuff just scares me to death. Let's see what the Doc's got cooking. Fragmentize to get their gate back. I mean, that's fine. They don't even have enough stuff in their graveyard yet. Unfortunately, now we have to actually save this cast out. Hopefully they don't have a Dispel, but they've showed us that their deck does play Dispels. If they negate it, we're not mad if they negate it. So they've now hit 1, 2, 3 creatures. Sure. And they still have that as well? Well, that's pretty good for them. Well, since it's another cast out, I guess we'll go ahead and cast out that thing again. Only because we have the backup cast out in our hand. That card's insanely good for them. Go ahead and hit F6. And they didn't draw a land, which is kind of bad for us. Well, we need to find some of our approaches now. We didn't sideboard any out. Yeah, the blue-red gift deck is just really, really solid. Kind of jealous that we don't have it ourselves. Alright, well, this will resolve. Fortunately, there's nothing we can really do about this. Which means next turn, he goes up to 6, so if he just has, like, land gift, we're in bad shape again, but what else can we do? We've had a mediocre draw. So we played a lot that we're given. So he could just have another gate, or he could have land. He could have fragmentize, negate, or sorry, fragmentize, gate, or like land God Pharaoh's gift, or he could have a refurbish and get a God Pharaoh's gift in his graveyard with the strategic planning. Alright, well, it seems like we dodged a lot of bullets that turn. Don't care about the Mausoleum Wanderer if he doesn't have the rest of it going on. Nope, I really want to play the blue-red deck. Sorry if I was slow on responding. This match is actually a little consuming thought-wise. So that's 6 things in his graveyard. Yep, I am just too cheap to spend. I think Chandras are like 43 each last I looked. So like right at 130 bucks, maybe 131 bucks somewhere in that area, and they could have gone up even more. He didn't keep the Fragmentize. That's a little scary. What does he have that he didn't keep the Fragmentize? Wow. Yep, I am everywhere. I'm going to say Asarak. I'm going to pretend that's how you pronounce it. And good evening to you as well. I'm a bit of a redneck, so pronouncing things is not my strongest of suits. I can understand that. I also do not want to buy Chandras of any kind at the moment. I think I'm just going to slam this approach. I don't actually care if he resolves this thing. We have the first answer to it, and then we have a descent for the second answer, and if this resolves, we'll have plenty enough life. It is a little risky, but again, we don't win this match without casting 7 mana sorcery, so whenever we do cast it, it's going to be risky. Like, there's not a point that this isn't going to be risky. Okay, I will pay my mana. Which is worst case scenario for us, because now he just has to get the God's Gift out and he has the Mausoleum Wanderer. So we'll be 6 cards down after our draw step. We're just going to go ahead and write 6 so we don't have to delete it off. I really want to go to my standard showdown today, but it's hard for me to give up the challenges on the weekends. The value in them is just too good. So what's this? Sacrifice it. It's equal to its power, so... And it's just sorcery. An instant. So it's pretty safe to try to cast out their gift. And then put a meltdown on this thing. I'm going to put the meltdown on that thing. Go ahead and play it now. Again, they have negates, so I'd rather just play around the negate if possible. So they have 1 card in hand, and we have an approach in our hand and an approach 6 cards down. So this is a 7 mana for another gift. They do not have another Mausoleum Wanderer in their graveyard, so providing that they don't take the Champion of Wits and like draw into something. It does, but I'm not worried about them playing another gift. We've already resolved the first approach. And if they tap 7 mana for a second gift, they have to draw pretty well to be able to stop the second approach. So like this Champion of Wits has to they would have to hit a land and have a negate. It's just not that easy for them to hit that. Basically wanting them to tap 7 mana. Uh, do I want to pay 0 for you? Yes, I will pay 0 for you. Delete GG. I mean, they could have had it. They might not even have had negate either. Like we've not saw a negate in any of the 3 games. I still like to err on the side of caution. The only counter spells they showed us was a bunch of the dispels in game 2 and in game 3. Well, anyway, there's the pity chest. Let's see if we can lock the 4-1. So yesterday's stream was a 5-0. The day before stream was a 5-0. And we're back to at least 3-1. We lost to Pummeler today, which is a match I've never lost to before, but he drew triple Invigorated Rampage both games 2 and game 3, and we drew zero Fumigates both games 2 and game 3, so that's probably not indicative of how that match actually works. I feel pretty favored in that match if our opponents aren't playing Fling. If they play Fling, they can win pretty easily, to be honest. Anyway, I have about 53 minutes before my Commander Challenge. Hello, Corey, and hello, Sean. 2 people from my local store showed up. Well, hopefully we'll get to 4-1. If we don't, it's not that big of a deal. Either way, win or lose, I get to reward myself with ice cream. Spoiler, I was going to eat ice cream even if I come on, logged on and went like 0-12. I would still have got ice cream. There's our nice little emote. Corey made it for us. He's also the person responsible for all the sweet graphics you see on our screen. All the alerts and everything. He is a talented magician. This hand's pretty solid. I'm ready for... Oh, some Commander, yeah. I still am hoping to find the cards for Leovold, but it was like $165 to buy the deck, and to buy what we didn't have of the deck, rather, and that's not happening because I'm cheap. The 40 to Councils doesn't do much, but I want to play the Prairie Stream either way, so might as well play it. I have no idea what our opponent could be playing. Could just be some Grixis deck. Grixis control deck. Could be some Grixis mid-range deck. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, it's probably a hard match. If Scarab God is a very hard card for us to beat. It's probably the second hardest card for us to beat behind Chandra Torch of Defiance, and I see double red, so I immediately am thinking of Chandra's Torch of Defiance. Thank you for the host, Think's Kitchen. I appreciate it, man. That's the 3rd nice host we've had today. Mac the Catastrophe, and I'll butcher his name, so I'm going to scroll up and find it for sure. Well, I guess I'm not going to scroll up and find it for sure. Yeah, Church Plays. Wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was Plays Church or Church Plays, but yeah. We got to thank all 3 of those for the nice hosts today. Especially on a Grand Prix Denver day. Having any viewers in here whatsoever today is pretty surprising to me. I was expecting to just be recording this for YouTube. But surprisingly, we still got quite a few. We got 31 with the hosts, which isn't bad. So our plan versus the blue-red decks is just to mill them out, but that plan doesn't really work as well versus the Scarab God builds, so this will be the first time I've actually played versus the Scarab God type build, so we'll have to see how this plays out. I have no idea. I'm going to assume we're not a favorite, and I'm going to assume we're in for like 25 minutes of relatively low action. Well, they've already drawn their first draw 2, and we've not drawn any, so that's a good point on their end. Oh, the GP stream is down? Yeah, I guess people were bored then. I didn't know. I watched round 1. I purchased an expedition yesterday. What'd you purchase? Mark opened it in a tomb, but I'm sure he already told you. I'm just gonna keep sitting here. I'm gonna play literal nothing until he makes me play something. So he's got a second draw 4. He is way ahead of us. He didn't. He told at least Ricky because I remember him saying, "Yeah, Ricky said he wants it." So that means Ricky knows. So you should go jump on Ricky because at least Ricky knows. But yeah, he opened it in the draft, and then he went and played poker. Dust bow, not bad. I'm gonna sit here and not play anything again until he makes me play something. That's his third glimmer. Oh, MJ played. He was on the feature match. Please tell me he's not playing the Teamer Energy with Scarab God in it. That deck is so much worse than just Teamer Energy. At least in my eyes. Obviously, Michael Jacobs a genius, so I'm probably wrong. I trust him much more than I trust myself. But with my viewing of that deck, the first Scarab God is worse than the third or fourth Glorybringer by a lot. I truly think Michael Jacobs is one of the best Magic players in the world. I think he'd be on the Pro Tour and Platinum if he cared. I think he's by far the best player that streams, and that's saying a lot considering LSV and a bunch of them stream. Especially when it comes to the limited format. That guy is just smart. Do 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 do. I like how our opponents played 1,000 card draw spells, and as of so far, we've not lost a land drop on them. Hope Michael Jacob top 8s. I would like to see him get back on the Pro Tour. Our opponent has to run out of card draw spells sooner or later, right? Ew, work. Well, I'm finally getting ready to miss a land drop, so I guess I'll use a sensor to draw it, see if we hit a land. We'll keep that. Victory. Hit our land anyway. I think cast out's fine because he could be on a Nicol Bolas list. We've technically not saw what our opponent's trying to mill us with yet. Sure, so it's just Torrential Gearhult? Yep, not worried about a Torrential Gearhult. We have these sweet Blessed Alliances in our hand. That gives us something to do with these cards. Victory. The tomb looked beautiful too. I sat beside Mark when he opened it, and he was like, "Hold up the draft, boys. Got to get a sleeve." Yes, our Friday Night Magic drafts are quite casual for those listening in chat. He's not a good deck builder. He is one of the best deck tuners that I've ever saw, though. I was a fan of him back when he was actually playing full time, instead of what he does on Twitch now. Like back when he was, making top 8s of Pro Tours and making like top 8s of Nationals and stuff. Yeah, it's fine. If you want to waste a disallow on a card like that, we're not going to stop you. We're not even going to consider stopping him when it comes to these cards. I think ham sandwich just sound more like red cards to me, but what do I know? Committing memory would be kind of annoying. It amazes me that we're still not drawn a draw to. I guess this is a draw to, but 3. Sure. So our opponent's now hit his 4th draw to, 5th with the Gearhulk. Uh-oh. We were hoping he didn't have that. So this game just got incredibly hard. Probably just lost this game, if I was going to guess. Well, I'll let him censor one of these. I don't even care. Actually, I guess I do care. He has to discard a card for his turn, so there's no reason to let him just play a spell for 3. It's better to play it on his following turn. There's 28 cards left in his library. It's the type a lot of mana to attack with these two. He's got at least an island in his hand. I kind of want both of those. Three cards left. Or 3 lands left. That's kind of weird. It gave him priority, then it gave it back to me. Don't want either of those. And we'll keep the hieroglyph. So have to discard 1 card this turn. I guess we'll just go ahead and cycle the censor and see if it's a card we don't want more or less than the After Meltdown. And it's a Fumigate, so it's a card we want more than the Meltdown. Have 3 of our Supreme Wills in our hand still. Guess we'll play the Hieroglyphic Illumination here, but it's not really the best spell to play here since we're going to be discarding next turn. Just wanting to find an approach though. Wanting to resolve the first approach. It's really what we want to do. Must find an approach of some kind. None of those were approaches, so I'm going to go ahead and play one of these two and look for an approach. None of those were approaches. That was some pretty incredibly poor luck over those draw steps, to be honest. We can discard a plains now, though. We have lands for days. This could just be a Gearhulk, or it could be another draw two. Draw twos are fine. That's his 4th Glimmer. Bottom top. Kind of really just want to draw an approach, so we're going to look for an approach one more time. This will probably be the last Supreme Will I play. And we didn't draw an approach then either. We about have to hit an approach now. Be incredibly hard as many cards as we put on the bottom to miss again. We found a way, fam. I think I've scried 9 cards to the bottom. Well, the Rivulet Wind is plan A, but when you cast a first approach, even if it doesn't resolve, it makes them worry about the approach and have to use their mana the rest of the game differently. The Rivulet plan is how I'm wanting to win, but the approach makes it easier for the Rivulet plan to win, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's easier to win when he has to worry about you just untapping and winning. So all 3 of our approaches are in the next 11 cards. Sure. So all 4 of our approaches are in our next 11 cards. That's pretty stellar. He put on top, which is probably very bad for me. Could have went ahead and Rivuleted and got rid of them, but kind of don't want him to realize that's the plan. Sure. Go ahead and see if I can cast out on this Torrential Gearhulk. See if we can make them sacrifice a card. We still have these Supreme Wills and stuff. Alright. Well, on to the next turn, it looks like. I think I'm going to cast another Supreme Will this turn. Opponent's already played their land drop for the turn, so that's good. They don't know it, but they're on like an 8-turn clock. No, we haven't cast one yet. Casting a approach is, whether you ever think you'll resolve the second approach or not, just casting approach is one of the more important things in this match. A little worried about him having Nicol Bolas in his main deck. He fought pretty long and hard there, so let's see what we can do here. Wow, we didn't hit again. We'll take that one. There's 14 cards on the bottom. So our approaches are in the next... All of our approaches are in the next... Wait. All of our approaches are in the next, like, 6 cards or whatever. Turn target land to its owner's hand. Sure. That card's actually going to be kind of brutal. The buyback of it is insanely good. Hmm. Yeah, Not worried about trying to resolve that spell. See if we can finally get a Fumigate to do something. This game's not easy to win. In fact, I don't actually know if I'm going to win this game. The Consign to Memory is so good. So we're going to have to discard like our Fumigate and our Meltdown, and we're going to be on pretty loose win conditions here. And there's a Jace. Yep, Jace is probably good enough to beat us, but every time he ticks up, he draws a card. So he needs Commit the Memory as well, then? To save to cast out or not to save to cast out? I think we'll save it for a turn or two. See what happens. There's another cast out. So unless I didn't notice an approach with one of our scries, it's like all three of our approaches had to be in our like bottom 5 cards, which is pretty insane. He's gonna Glimmer again? I wonder if he knows that we're gonna try to kill him with these Rivulets. And if he knows, I wonder if he cares. He knows we have this cast out already. I guess we just Meltdown it. Willing to take a lot of damage. So he's going to disallow that. He's going to negate that. I guess it's easier for us to beat the Gearhulk than it is the Jace. So, or easier for us to beat the Jace than the Gearhulk is what I meant to say. It's not very easy for us to beat either of them at this point. Not very easy for us to beat either of them at this point. Oops. Have to tap blue mana at some point, I guess. It does make him tap 3 more mana this turn. He did not pay. He did not pay. Sure. We've gone through all but one of our cast outs. He's already gone through 3 disallows, so I think it'll be kind of hard for him to hit my Glimmer. Well, we know what we're drawing, at least. I think it's going to be very hard for us to win this game. In fact, I don't expect to win this game. But we hit an approach. Approach doesn't really do anything. short. Even if he has one disallow, it's pretty hard for him to win in that amount of turns at least. That's what we're going to try to do. He could have disallow. He lost connection to the game. That is kind of an interesting spot to lose connection. This is just game one, though, so, like, it's not a rage quit, right? Like, it's an actual disconnection to the game, because why would you rage quit in game one? Anyway. So we have 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 lands left. So we have enough lands left to Rivulet, and approach. No, I don't think it was a rage quit. Come on, man. It is not a rage quit. I was just making a joke. I mean, people do rage quit all the time on Moto, but a guy's not going to rage quit game one. Thank you for the follow. It was just interesting timing. I don't think he actually rage quit. Also, thank you for following Fairy Tales Badger, Super Mode. I guess that's how you say that. There's a lot of D's in that. Yet I elongated the O instead of the D. And Steve Gamer 5. Appreciate the follows. Currently 3-1 in this league. The last 2 leagues were both 5-0s, so I'm going kind of well on that. I don't even know what this ultimate does. I should probably read it. Nah, I don't want to read it. You saw a dude scoop game 1 in a match they're probably favored out of rage? That's some aggressive rage quit. Anyway, we'll throw the deck list up. For anybody that's new, there's a link down below to my Twitter. My Twitter, you can see every time I go live, all the deck lists I play, and on my Twitter, there's also a link to my YouTube. And for the people on the YouTube, down below in the description, there's also a link back to the Twitter. And to my Twitch, both. So, basically, click something, find something, we all smile. We just spam some of our emote here. This is our nice little emote, this Corey Coolcat guy. He is the guy who's responsible for the emote and all of this beautiful layout and all of these graphics you see on our screen. But I just have to resolve 2 of my 7-mana spell. I don't know. I think he'll be back. I don't think it was a rage quit. Maybe the Grand Prix's back up and he's like, gots to go watch the Grand Prix, boys. I did hear Michael Jacob was on stream, and I'm pretty happy about that. Sad that I missed it. Oh, the Grand Prix is back up. Let's watch the Grand Prix together. David Achoka is playing Jeskai Gift. Trophy Mage. Interesting card. I guess I need to go look at this real quick, too, to save some time. You guys can't see what I'm doing. And by can't see what I'm doing, I mean you can see every bit of it because I only have one monitor. Sorry about that. Preparing for the the Commander Challenge that starts in 26 minutes. I will not be streaming the Commander Challenge though, because there's just way too much dead time. At some point, I might start recording them for the YouTube for those who care. The only reason I haven't so far is I don't know how yet. Sorry, I was talking about Trophy Mage was his was in the gifts deck that I was looking at on the Grand Prix, and it's to get gate and or gifts, I guess. In that Pauper deck, it's just to get the swords. Never played that Pauper deck that we'll be playing today. It'll be a first time. Let me go ahead and save this. Wait, I already did save it, didn't I? Yeah, I saved it. Why didn't it close? Alright, so maybe our opponent will come back. Yep, they're back. It wasn't a rage quit. I didn't think it was a rage quit. I'm going to pretend like it was their cat. Their cat jumped on their monitor. It's always a cat. It's never a puppy. It's always a little kitty cat. Meow meow. I try to say meow meow at least 3 times a stream, by the way. My collection of very, very bad expeditions up top that aren't worth anything. Has he played yet? Nope. Our Rivulet's still on the stack. I have enough mana to sacrifice all 3 Rivulets and play the Approaching Sunlight, though. I would be very, very, very happy. Actually, let's read a card. Let's read this. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until it exiles non-current until end of turn. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. I really, really want our opponent to beat us with our own approaches. That would be great. Because I believe approaches our next 2 out of our next 3 cards, I believe. So it would be theoretically possible for our opponent to do that. I wonder how many disallows our opponent has. He's already gone through 2, and he doesn't have enough mana to play a Gearhulk this turn. Most of the blue-red decks I've saw lately only have 2 disallows, which I think is a mistake. I think they should have them all. Oh, it has to be from hand? I had no idea. I had no idea. Well, that's disappointing. Wasn't there a Marvel approach deck somewhere once? Could have swore there was a Marvel approach deck. Either way, I'm not really expecting to win this game, but our opponent wasted a lot of time, which is unfortunate. I thought I saw it like at a Grand Prix or something. By the way, if we do win this game, adding the 3rd Rivulet today will have won me 2 matches out of 5. Or sorry, two games out of 5 matches. Alright. So the 3rd Rivulet has already won me 2 games out of 5 matches. That's pretty spectacular, I think. Now I want a 4th. I thought going to the 3rd was definitely right. Now I want a 4th. An island. I just cut an island. For the other changes for today, I'm trying a cast out over the hours in the sideboard, and the cast out's been very good. This is another example of the match I'm bringing that cast out back in. I'm bringing it in everywhere that I brought in the hours and a few more places as well. So most of these cards aren't particularly good here. Whoops, get out of my way. You shave some Fumigates versus control decks, but you can't shave them all because you have to be mindful that they may have Dragon Master Outcast at all times. Besides that, it's typically more of the same plan, but versus the black deck. Yeah, the beautiful red negates are pretty nice. But at least bring in the 1 cat. I'm trying to figure out if remember Infinite Stack with 3. Yes, I do remember just breaking Moto, and it was frustrating. It was as frustrating then as it would be now. I want 2 cats. Meow meow. Nah, I don't want the 2nd cat. The opponent has 6 minutes to win 2 games. I guess we're going to play the stall strategy. I like 5 mana. 5 mana is easier to sneak it down if you're trying to play it around like a Whirler Virtuoso or a Thing in the Ass, which is also cards they could bring in. It's also better in the late game. Just the 1 mana's a lot. They're both not particularly good. And I don't care if they commit to memory. or commit in memory and get them all back. Like, just playing the game over doesn't bother me. I feel advantaged in those games, so playing the game over doesn't bother me at all. Um, that could be an issue, but I don't think that's going to be an issue with there only being 6 minutes on the clock over 2 games. Like I said at the beginning of this round, though, this is the first time I played versus Grixis, so it'll be a learning process. I'll try one. Well, it's too late. I was going to say I'll try one Descent over one Fumigate. Versus the blue-red decks, though, I'm confident Fumigate's better. This is the first time I played versus Grixis. We're somewhere in the 120 to 140 range of matches, but definitely the first Grixis. Unfortunately, my spreadsheets, I haven't been keeping up to date since I've been streaming because I don't like pulling up a spreadsheet. Alright, so he just looked at his hand and conceded the game. Well, I'm sorry to waste everybody's time. That was a horrible end to a stream. Yeah, like you could be very right. I'm not saying you're wrong, though. I mean, I guess they have Kefnets in even the blue-red deck, so maybe I should think about Descend a little bit more. But this is the first time I've been paired versus the Grixis deck. Well, I apologize for wasting the entire stream time. Um, I've still not decided, Strange. This is match 16 through 20, and I honestly still can't tell which is better. I'm thinking about going to 4 Immolating Glares now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of the Meltdowns and just try the Glares. The Unsummon is not coming back in. And the Stasis Snare has a little bit too high of a casting cost. I really want something to do on turn 2, which is the reason that the Effort Meltdowns were originally in the deck. And as you can see, we don't have a whole lot of white sources, which is another reason that the Meltdowns had the original nod over the Mobilizing Glare, though the Meltdowns are a little bit better versus Gods, which, when Mono Red was 40% of the meta, was very, very, very relevant. But now that Mono Red's no longer 40% of the meta, I think having the Meltdowns not as relevant as it used to be. But I appreciate the stream, guys. I have a Commander challenge I have to play in 15 minutes. Thank you for the follows. I'm not going to say the spiel again because I said it literally like 3 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago or something. But I appreciate the follow. That's, I believe, a 41505041 in the last 4 streams. It might have been a 32505041. I don't actually remember 4 days ago. I believe so, Ricky, but I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm probably going to test one more day with it at 2 and 2 before I make that call. But let's see if there's anybody to host. I'm going to host somebody. The Grand Prix on. That's probably what we should be watching. But I'm going to find somebody to host real quick. Yeah, I'll see you in Skype for the other event. But I do want to find somebody to host, so I apologize for kind of wasting this time. What is Thundermo playing? Scarab Pod Saturday. That's not something I'm going to host. Birthday foil proxy giveaway. Alright, what's he playing? I try to view what opponents or decks my opponents are playing before I host. I am kind of anal about that. It's more modern cards. I don't like to stream modern. I stream standard because I'm mostly a standard stream. That's not saying that I won't play something else at some point. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube now, it's a perfect time to turn it off because I won't be doing anything else. Alright, well, I just don't see anybody that's playing standard today, so I guess I'll host Anziri. He's streaming with Jarvis U right now. Host, so Anzia104. Talk to you guys later and wish me good luck in my challenge, in my Commander challenge.